Hello.
Did you send me the reference?
I've sent you like 3 references or
Okay.
4 references.
Hey, Bane.
What's shaking?
That's what all those notifications were about.
You missed Tum Tum Cam.
What the fuck did you send me?
That is Alec Guinness's. The first one I sent you is Mr. Burns. Just Mr. Burns. No, not Tum Tum Cat. Different thing. I am genuinely not sure if it actually broadcast. No one's sure.
I had it muted, so.
You had it muted?
Yeah. I just don't entirely trust it. During the coming soon screen?
Oh.
Yeah.
You can hear, but you can't see.
Unless I have it muted, which I think I did.
Oh.
But there was one time when I didn't.
Okay.
So it was the coming soon screen, and then we were just talking about whatever.
That's fine. This time we were talking about Tum Tum Cam.
Yes. Oh, okay. So I did have it muted successfully. That's good to know.
Yeah.
What was I doing?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
I never know.
I
what
need
you're
to swap
doing.
out the reference.
Nobody knows what you're doing. You
I'm
don't know
very
what
mysterious.
You don't know what you're doing.
Half the time, that is correct.
No, Jesus. Nope. At one point, my wife was unsure whether or not we were broadcasting Mein Belly. I mean, on the plus side, I have no even concept of shame, so doesn't bother me. Yeah, maybe. I wouldn't even care to begin to guess what all everyone is into. I have, this is the Mr. Burns that has been forever in the making. I started this at Frightmare in the Falls, which is just under 6 months ago at this point. If it goes any longer, it's going to be a pain length project.
Snap. Bam. There we go. He said it.
We cannot have that. Not sure why you set an alarm for.
Unrelated. Something else.
I mean,
I'm bidding on something in the auction.
you make it less accurate, and maybe I'll stop teasing you about it. Maybe.
I'm bidding on 2 things in the auction tonight.
Are you?
One is 15 new bags of flocking static grass and little fake logs and stuff
Okay.
for our eventual diorama.
We're still lurking at that eventual diorama?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have been kind of planning on making a little like Halloween village kind of situation that we could use for taking pictures of stuff.
I mean, I thought it was primarily for taking pictures of stuff.
Yeah.
Or
well,
is it
for funsies.
It's
but also
Okay.
for taking pictures.
So now we've changed the project to mostly for shits and giggles.
Well, I mean,
Okay. I mean, that's fine.
and the other thing that I'm bidding on is a bunch of wheel bearings.
Wheel bearings.
Yeah. You know the round ones?
I know what wheel bearings
I
are.
figured we could use them for things. I'm only bidding for
Wait,
the
are you talking
$5.
about ball bearings?
No, wheel bearings.
Wheel.
The circular one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Why? I mean, that sounds like something I would bid on, but
No, I know. That's why I
okay.
bid on it. Because I love you.
To be fair, I don't know if I have a particular use for wheel.
Really distinct but still similar Halloween town. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
I do that occasionally.
Yeah, I don't know
Buy you a present.
what we would be doing with wheel bearings, but
Making, I don't know, things that spin. I don't know.
now if they were pillow bearings, that'd be different.
Well, that's what I get for trying to be nice.
I'm messing with you.
But yeah, so we have a static grass applicator, I think.
Do we? Why do we have a?
Chewy bought one a while ago.
Oh,
Assuming
that's
we
right.
find it, because
Because
it may have been put somewhere. Speaking of Chewy, oh, she got it for free.
hello, Chewy.
That's why.
The static grass applicator. I don't know if we're mature
I
enough
don't know
for
how much static grass goes for.
static grass.
Yeah.
I think it is not particularly expensive, but it
there's,
isn't like
15 packages of stuff.
well, yeah, but sometimes those packages are
They are pretty small.
teeny tiny,
Yeah.
like a few grams, because it is for miniature model making.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would work with the static applicator, but I do know there are some DIY
Okay.
flockings that are used.
What? Space Marines?
It's for Warhammer modeling.
Oh, okay. Well, there's 5 minutes left, so I'm gonna bid on it again in a couple minutes. 'Cause I was outbid.
First, a bunch of static grass.
I'm probably only gonna bid like, because right now if I bid it'll be 20 bucks.
I mean, you could let whoever desperately needs that static grass have that static grass.
But we need it.
Do we?
Well, it's either that or we decide not to do that project.
No, we haven't decided. I wasn't necessarily planning on static grassing anything
What?
on that project.
What are you talking about? How would you not?
How would you not? Because
We'd have to. Do you want it to be any good? Do you want it to fail?
You just want to use
This
this.
daddy needs it.
You just want the static grass applicator because you've seen it on the internet.
No, it's neat. I want it because it's neat.
Uh-huh.
How else are we gonna get realistic grass?
I mean, that depends on the scale and everything.
Alright, let's bid on this. I mean, this might be a moot point.
If
We're
nothing,
going to find out.
if nothing else, you're just pushing the value up of the static grass.
We'll find out in 4 minutes.
It's finally important to get that static grass value up. So I'm not entirely certain what I am fully doing with Vampire Burns' mouth. As per my usual, I'm not entirely certain what I'm doing in general.
So what was wrong with his mouth before?
Didn't like
Why
it.
did you just didn't like it?
Okay.
I suppose.
Do you want the whole story?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So when I did it initially, I was referencing some vampire fangs from I forget which movie exactly, but it was an over the teeth it was an over the teeth dental appliance, so essentially it lowers the gum line, and I was working with that for a while, and then I decided that I did not like it because it made it look like Burns's teeth were too low in his mouth. Which is one of those things that, like, it's sometimes it's a necessary evil in makeup effects, because obviously, like, people have their own anatomy and stuff has to account for that. So if you wanted, like, a character where you're seeing, like, the gum line on it, you can either push the actor's lips higher, or you can extend the gum line lower. And you may not want the look of Stephen Colbert's Eric Trump impression for a full movie. But, you know, you also kind of
Wait, what? I saw Vampire Burns fangs in my blanket next to a broken toaster oven. I was selling it? Wait, what?
It's a reference to, I recognize it, but I'm
Failing to bring it
I am
from the archives.
failing to bring it out. It's not a Simpsons reference, I don't think.
Okay.
Oh.
King Missile?
King Missile, yes. Detachable penis. That's what it was. Detachable penis. I'm not doing that. You're familiar with King Missile? It's they're a bit of a novelty band. I'm mostly familiar with them from, like, 2000s era, but I suspect they predated that fairly severely. I'm pretty sure their most well-known song was Detachable Penis.
Oh, wait. think I am familiar with that song. Yes.
Yes, the Irish Spring song was also funny, but definitely didn't get the same playtime as Detachable Penis. But yeah, essentially, Vampire Burns' fangs were out of place for me. And a lot of times you can get away with stuff like in an actual movie because you have a real person's face going on in there. There's no question of like, is that, you know, is that wrong? If the teeth look fairly fairly reasonable, you kind of just accept them. Whereas with something as caricatured as Mr. Burns, you will often be like, that don't look right. And I was in the that don't look right camp. So I changed the teeth initially to just put them in the right place. And then from there, I didn't like the chin, where that sat. And I moved that, and I got a really goofy expression at one point. And then I went, fuck it. We're going full on crazy Mr. Burns mouth. And that is where we are at this point. Part of the problem may also come from the changes that I made to the anatomy in the rest of the head. Sort of made Mr. Burns less cartoonish than my my initial sculpt. So some stuff that kind of made sense at one point stopped making sense.
Looks like I may have one that's
You get static grass, and you get a static grass.
I did. Yay.
We'll
Let's find out whether I win those wheel bearings in like half an hour. Probably.
I mean, that could be a project.
That could be a project.
Do if we want. There is there are many possibilities. I was running under the assumption of another monster camp again, but if you want to do Santa's Evil Village, either or, whatever you feel like doing.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We kind of sort of have a village theme in mind, but I could also see pushing it more photo backdrop-y.
All I know is that I don't know what there's like that brand that they sell at
Yes.
Michael's, the little village.
Mm-hmm.
And we brought in a couple of the mugs to Michael's and took pictures on the stuff.
Yeah.
And if I was any more, it might be a Halloween Town. If
No.
I was any more of an impulsive purchaser, I would have bought the whole thing.
It was. It's it may be Halloween Town, but it's got
it's got a weird name.
It's got a different name. The manufacturer name is well known. They're also really well known for their like Christmas villages. There's that particular like slightly large railroad hobby scale.
Yeah, let me dig up the picture.
Lemax, that's the one.
Ah, that sounds right.
But yeah, right now we've got some. We picked up some stuff to like get us started. We were thinking about making it like a more or less permanent installation in one corner of the room. But as far as I know, we're not really like wed to the Lemax style, like that scale or anything. I saw a really cool, someone did a fake version of the Bordello. I mean, we definitely could tiny village it out and do some crazy shit in there. But I did see one.
So that's the picture.
Yes.
Obviously I edited it up to make it all like dark and spooky looking, but
yeah,
it just struck me as really fun.
I saw one.
And also, yes, the bordello would be great.
You know what we need? If we do, when we do this, we need like a summoning circle in the middle.
Okay.
That would be where we would put the stuff to do mostly. A bunch of little cultists around it.
Yes.
But yeah, it was something that Barra was really enjoying the goofiness of it.
Yeah.
So I think I would let her front seat this one.
Ooh.
What?
Just put me in charge?
Well.
Yeah, no.
Directing?
Totally agreed. We would definitely need to, like, edit it a lot. If we just bought theirs.
Oh, no, we would need to... And there's a lot of backdrop that needs happening, and probably lighting, and...
Yeah.
A bunch of different stuff. I saw a really cool one on YouTube. Someone made a haunted forest diorama, and what they did was they had several panes of frosted glass going on so that they could have like a forced perspective kind of thing, which looked really cool. Yeah, it would be kind of a little spray boothy in concept. Because we would want to be able to control the lighting quite a lot, all that.
Handle time.
Stop.
Handle time.
I don't have any.
I was gonna say pick a minute.
I don't have any reference for that. I would not know how to find that again. But I think it was also like it was quite small and quite deep. Like it was a very much a diorama thing.
Oh, I'm gonna fetch my drink.
Okay.
Do you need anything downstairs?
No, I am good. Thank you. So yeah, ours would have had to have been pretty modified to make room for taking photographs in. That, and I think the wife really was just having fun with the goofy little village idea. So there'll be more of an atmospheric backdrop kind of thing, but I think we'll probably end up doing something villagey with little tiny people and that kind of thing. I do kind of want to get like I mean, yeah, some slightly Motu stuff could be an addition.
Is it Motu?
Yeah.
Oh,
Masters
yeah.
of the
Yep,
Universe.
yep.
You've got to look up the Vine Jungle Toy Factory stuff on YouTube. Cool Alan has a
Oh, right, I told her.
well, yeah, but I told her that the channel existed. I didn't tell her that Cool Alan was making a giant Castle Grace. No, Snake Mountain. He's doing like a giant Snake Mountain thing. Like fully extended. He got I think it was one of those like 14-foot or something python yard decoration things from like
Was it a gummy python?
No, it was not. It was one of the yard decoration ones. Like, so that's the scale. Like the head was probably 8 inches to 10 inches across.
Long and thick. What?
It was long and thick. And that's how big Snake Mountain was. All kind of extra rooms. He was pulling in like villains from other universes as like Skeletor's like hench people and stuff.
Hench people?
Yeah. Well, they weren't all henchmen. I don't want to. I don't want to.
Very PC of you.
I don't want to assume the gender of a beastman.
Yeah. I mean, it's right there in the name, though.
Yeah, but is that beastman's real name or is that his slave name?
I don't know. How many different varieties of defensive can we get right now?
All of them? But yeah, like there's lots of fun stuff on that channel. It's not like super extensive, not like the Stilt Beast one. It has like years of content built up, but well, yeah, Skeletor has tons of. I think that was part of Skeletor's like early design concepts. Was Skeletor was initially going to be this kind of like interdimensional or interplanetary conqueror type figure, which I think they changed that to like Hordak at one point. Yeah, like the backstory swapped over. Hordak's fine. I did not care for Hordak's like character design as much. Like
Piggy bat nose.
I mean, yeah, he did have a cool piggy bat nose, but he also had like a weird like bone hood thing, and yeah, he had a goofy collar, and I don't know. I like it almost seems like the He-Man stuff started strongest and then kind of, you know, watered down and like I know the really early concept stuff like that was a much kind of dark fantasy or more Conan-esque kind of universe. Before like Mattel and Filmation got involved. Yeah. No, Skeletor was way cooler.
It was like he stole every dog.
Hordak had a collar made out of like bones, but they were the dog treat shaped bones.
Okay.
So it wasn't like it. Yeah.
Okay.
It looked like he had a really high like Skeksis style arched collar.
Yeah.
Rimmed with
milk bones.
Rimmed with milk bone.
Okay. Interesting.
It was not my preferred thing.
Okay.
That
This is true.
yeah, do not give her ideas.
Don't give who ideas. You're the one responsible for the shitty cosplay.
I'm responsible for the shitty cosplay,
Yes.
but I can't
That's
be.
what she said. Shitty cosplay.
I mean, true, but we're not doing cosplay at like Frightmare or whatever. Pain, on the other hand, has every opportunity
This
and
is
right
true.
to do all the cosplay that she wants. You know, that could be a thing. You're always looking for a Halloween costume opportunities.
Yeah, do it for Halloween.
You can bring your Halloween costume for Frightmare. Just don't go as lingerie Ghostface. They already have those most years.
Yeah, I could totally see John doing that. It definitely seems like something she'd do. Oh yeah, right. Wait, so is that what you're actually doing? Is Dog Hawk?
No.
I mean, other than the SUV chains.
Definitely not doing the
did
SUV
not
change,
buy.
which you did not purchase. And you are not allowed to bring those SUV chains anywhere near our space. You are not mature enough.
I believe what you meant to say is not coordinated.
Either and or both. We have breakables.
But we do have a you break it, you buy it. Policy. Okay.
I mean, we don't really have that policy per se, but it's... We haven't really had much in the way of breakage.
Just the one. Well, okay, no, that's not true.
Yeah, I think
There was
a couple of people dropped stuff during the pack up, and
who dropped something she'd actually bought.
oh, the
came back
one
to
that
buy
came
it.
back to put. She didn't drop it. She
slammed it
slammed
in
it in a door.
I know.
Which we can't be held responsible if people are
No,
going to be slamming
obviously.
stuff indoors.
Like, I feel bad though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You always wonder if you could have packed it better enough to make
No.
a difference.
There's nothing. No. No, I feel bad that she had to pay like twice as much to have her little treat.
I mean,
I
at
feel
least
bad about that.
at least she had her little treat. At least that was a possibility with that one.
Yeah.
She didn't get one of the ones
Well,
that...
let's see.
Well, yeah, but she didn't get one of the ones that was irreplaceable. At our booth,
I'm
anyway.
like, wait, what do we think that's irreplaceable?
You have so much stuff that you have like one of,
Yeah.
and you sell out of so much stuff so often.
Yeah, but I can always make worst case scenario.
You could always make a new one, but they don't get it at the show.
No.
There was at least one that she could get.
Yeah, but it was different. Rather different. We did have somebody try to walk off the board, yes.
Yes.
Still bitter about that.
I mean, but you got to be the
Got to be the hero.
you got to be the superhero.
I know.
'Cause I was way too tired. I completely wouldn't have noticed. I wouldn't have. I don't know what I would have noticed that day. I was working on. Ooh. Uh-huh. You keep making that a thing. Why don't you make your lament configuration, and then we'll figure out how to mold it.
Yeah, why are you doing it?
With blackjack, yeah. Hoopers.
Yeah. Yeah. Make it with monster clay and then we'll...
No, don't make it with monster clay.
Okay. What?
Because it's not. It's a hard edged model thing.
Okay.
Monster clay is like it's not the worst material, but it's an unnecessarily complex way to do it. Do it out of like foam or something. Because then you can build and carve and all that. You've already got flat planes and it's easier to make like a square. Hell, buy a goddamn foam square and or a foam cube and start from there. Monster clay is terrific for like organic shapes and stuff, and you can do mechanical things to an extent, but it is not the best material for that by any means. I love my monster clay, but even when I did like Frankenberry, I collaged a lot of his his mechanical. I mean, toy wax would be better, but you also don't need as much a modeling material because it's all basically flat planes and decorations cut into those flat planes. Do something that you can start with a more mechanical type shape. I mean, EVA foam would probably be my go-to. Like, do craft foam. Start with like a nice cube and cut your patterns out of craft foam. Glue them and you know, start cutting away, and then you can do like, you can use various like melty type things with heated tools to distress everything, and like, what is the my brain words are failing me.
Your brain words.
No, like, because you can, with like the craft foam and stuff, it's relatively easy to distress it and carve in like your fine details and stuff with hot tools. And you can use like little bits of foam clay or other stuff, like just multiple coats of paint or bed liner or something like that to like unify your surfaces. Like, that project is really asking to be composited instead of trying to like model it up, or, you know, 3D print. That's another one of those.
I wonder
like,
if we know somebody who has a 3D printer.
well, I mean, computers just friggin' love geometric shapes and things. And if you have another fun thing about a 3D print is the PLA ones, at least, they're heat manipulable. So like, make the broad strokes that are easy to do in 3D modeling software, and then get out the like hot knife and stuff and start fiddling around with little surface details and that stuff. I am sure it does gas off some unpleasant things if you heat it high enough, but it's essentially the same as those the little 3D doodle pens that they made. That's PLA filament. I don't know what it's like smoke point would be, or like its burning temperature, but I'm pretty sure the PLA doesn't need to be vented. It's just because you're not like burning anything. You're literally just heating it up enough to make it malleable and sticky. I'm sure there are like exceptions. Like if you really overheat it, or you use the wrong settings and the wrong filament. But yeah, and I don't know. I had not planned on making any kind of ceramic stuff for the weird little village. I
No, but
when it comes to like weird little side projects, I think I would prefer not to do ceramics.
no, that makes sense.
So many other fun materials to mess with that I don't do all day every day. Hell, it'll just be nice to do something that I can use paint on. Take all the annoyance of
I think like the
doing.
idea is we're going to be it's going to be modular, and we're going to knock it around and stuff, and maybe edit stuff on the fly.
Yeah, sure.
Ceramics just feels more permanent.
I guess.
Does that make sense?
I don't know. I just know I do ceramics all day, every day. And if I can do something that I can paint with like acrylics, oils and acrylics, that's a
Strange.
fun project. And I would very much love to do some cool Allen esque things. Get to go full quick and dirty and heat gun and get some of that plant paper stuff. There's a ground cover that Alan Hops uses for a lot of like not necessarily spider webbing, but like raggedy cloth and weird drapey fun things, because it's a relatively thin I don't think it's a polyester. I think it's actually like a styrene product, but I would have to look into that. But it's essentially like a semi-woven plastic fabric, like really cheap, the garden
I was gonna say
black stuff.
like the garbage bags.
No,
Or
it's
not
not
the
garbage
the
bags.
shopping bags.
No, it's not. Yes. Yeah, like those shopping bags we got. I had a cool teeth. Yeah, he does use Super 7 for his cobweb stuff. I don't know if I want to fuck with that personally.
Super 7.
Super 7 is a spray adhesive
Mm-hmm.
by 3M, and if you use an air gun, so you squirt and then you blow through the stream.
Kind of like pulling candy.
It's kind of like,
big
yeah,
streamers
it just
of
makes big streamers of stuff. But Super 7 is really yeah, Super 77 is pretty Super 7 is the toy the toy making company. It's pretty fumey. it's a little bit like it's like a contact cement. So it has a high volatile content that I'm not like enamored with as a material to just fiddle around with. I could definitely get down with some plastic bag art though. Those the like plastic platter type things that they do for like semi see-through alien-esque like tentacle-y things. That's a lot of fun just to like mess with. Just make those I'm pretty sure they did it for the thing at one point. That was like I think that was the earliest film I remember seeing on one of the bits where like the tendrils of the thing kind of like grew on camera. I'm pretty sure that was just plastic that had been stretched thin and tinted, and they just like inflated it or possibly deflated it on camera. I can't remember which one it was, but it was one of those like alien bit. You know what I'm talking about though, like the really amorphous. You take a piece of plastic and you can kind of like stretch and tease it out, and then you can like inflate and deflate. They use it for a lot of things where they want to do like a weird like pulsing or breathing kind of deal with weird shapes. I'm gonna put Vampire Burns fangs in, and then I'm gonna figure out how to mold it. It's fine. Everything's fine. Got it under control. I know what I'm doing. Don't know what I'm doing. I will make it work. I know I don't want to do obviously like detachable fangs. If they can in any way be avoided. And I'm sure I can avoid them. Because these little buggers just like hanging out all on their I know at one point Mr. Burns had fang dentures, but I don't know about Vampire Burns. At one point Smithers was helping out Mr. Burns with his getting ready. It was a selection of dentures. I think the fangs today. But yeah, these little things, man. They just really want to break when you do them in ceramic. So I will figure out a method that these don't have to be unsupported like this. But I will figure out the look first. I mean, what I typically do is I just go into the back here and add material in a way that doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't impact things visually too much. Yeah, I still want to be able to cast this as a piece. I'm gonna say I'm not wild about Burns's nose. That feels wide to me. Yeah, it feels too wide. I like it from the side though, so I'm not going to change that, I don't think. Should show it better this way. I should get like I should paint my crock pot black.
So it's not just orange.
So it's not, I love my my stupid 70s crock pot, but it is not the best backdrop color for filming purposes. Yeah. I like the degree of pointy I have going on. A tasteful crockpot market. That does. Mr. Burns claimed to be born in 1881. I am fairly certain that Mr. Burns does have a set birth, at least era, if not year. And very early 1900s. Would make sense. Very early 1900s or late 1800s. 1881 seems early. I don't remember the specific episode, but I do distinctly remember a flashbacky sequence where Burns was riding in a probably 1910 to 1920s era car, and that was basically like a model A type look, as a small child. Would not be surprised if there's some contradictory type things. It's too bad Phaedra isn't on stream. She might know this. She might know Mr. Burns' birthday. No, I mean, definitely a Ford, but Model Ts were one of the earlier ones that was super mass produced. Model A was in the 20s to 30s. Yeah, I think. Oh wait, am I getting the numbers backwards? Was the Model T before the A? Okay. Yeah, my dad and granddad were the car people. Ooh, very best viewers. Mere hoot pee pee. Yeah. Your name is lame, sir. You should feel bad. Most of the bots have better names than you.
Yeet.
If you're gonna be a lazy bot shill, at least like have some pride in your work. Like, get a better name. No, they're right. He does have adorable little bottom teeth. I've got a good snake reference that I'm kind of using for this retracted lip slash I'm genuinely not sure what that part would be called. The interior kind of jaw muscle and stoof. I'm kind of enjoying, and I kind of like the. I don't necessarily love the shape of it yet, but I like the idea that his neck meats are going to be highly compressed by how wide he's opening his jaw. Some venom darts. Get way up in there and give him the does not matter, the hole for his forked tongue to slot into. There's a name for that. Someone's it's the scientist's name, orifice. On snakes. It is a form of a glottis, I believe. I think it's like Fresnel's organ or something, but it's the bifurcated organ that snakes have, that they stick out their little forked tongue and collect. They collect little particles, and then they can stuff it up in this little slot in the roof of their mouth. It kind of like tastes it's halfway between tasting and smelling what their little forked tongues collect. It's so they can well, they have a tongue sheath that they can pull back into, but it's essentially like a modified back of the sinus kind of opening. And it's a sense organ that allows them to differentiate relative concentrations of molecules from each side of their little tongue forks. So when you stick your tongue out, if you like kind of tuck it into the roof of your mouth, you can tell which direction the cookies are in. Scent locate your way to cinnamon buns. Is that the organ that connects directly to the maple sugar center of your brain? But yeah, gotta love snakes. They're fascinating animals. I keep seeing hints at research that I don't have time to actually track down the studies for, so I can't speak to the veracity about various animals or types of animals that are more social than we initially thought. Jacobson's organ could very well be it. It would be located at the what would be the beginning of the soft palate on a person, upper jaw, somewhere slightly less than femoral nasal organ. Unfamiliar with that term. Jacobson's organ sounds right. There it goes. Yeah, I was not aware of the femoral nasal organ. I wonder if that's some kind of a generic term for like similar things in different species, as well as snakes, and Jacobson's organ is like snake specific. Yeah. Nope. Snakes are good fun. And I do enjoy their somewhat varied personalities. Handle time.
One more to do.
Oh, you got one more to do. I didn't even notice you just finished so many.
Yeah, I was just over here picking my notes.
I mean,
I know you're doing other shit right now.
I am doing other shit.
Yeah, I've done two already.
Well, you've done two. That chatter turned out quite pretty, so I left it.
Okay.
If you want to try and smooth it out, you can.
No,
but
no. Okay. It does change what I was gonna do with it, because now it's gonna be a kill man.
okay. What were you gonna do with it before?
Well, I think I'm gonna do that ad aspera perspera.
Oh, and you don't want like.
But I think what I'm gonna
fanciness.
do is the cloud part I'm gonna carve it,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't really think this. I think this little wavy thing makes more sense for Gilman.
Yeah, I think it does. It'd be cool. Gilman or a bride. Either would make sense, I think.
Brides, some. I
Either.
was doing them with the speckled clay, but I did do some.
Yeah.
I like the speckled clay. Like, it depends.
Depends.
Speckled clay is better for some stuff.
Mhm.
White clay is better for some other stuff. Anyway.
Any hoodle. No, I do enjoy snakes though. I actually had one when I was a kid that I found um, on the ground during like a sudden cold snap, and basically hadn't found a burrow or had come out, and it was obviously it was like right in the middle of a path where it had clearly tried to sun itself to warm up enough to get moving again, and it did not go great because it was too cold to get going. So I ended up keeping it for the winter, because it must have been one of those, like, warm spells in like November, October kind of thing that brought it out. And then it got cold suddenly. And at one point, I thought I lost it out of its little enclosure that I put it in, which, isn't good. You don't want to have it not
Random snake wandering
have
around.
random snake wandering around so you can't like feed or water it or whatever. And it was gone for uh I I did have a heat lamp for it, either a heat lamp or a hot rock. I can't remember which one he had. I think he had a hot rock. But at one point, after he disappeared, I figured, well, he gotten out of his enclosure and he would probably not make it because I didn't know where to feed him or water him or anything. And he was gone for several days. And then I woke up one morning and he was sleeping on my chest.
Daddy, I'm sorry. I'll never run away again.
So they tame pretty thoroughly. Just a little garter snake. They can get used to being handled and everything. I don't. I would not like to go as far as that the snake liked me, but at the very least, it accepted that I was not a dangerous object, and I was warm and comfortable. It's always tempting for people to put, you know, emotional responses on animals, and we don't have any real idea if that's a thing. Kind of digging some of that up. Let's get these. Oh, that went. I just cut right through to the. No, I didn't. Just a little void there. Oh, I thought I found the empty space in the middle of Vampy Burns. We didn't go quite that
You
far.
found your way to this chocolatey sign.
I think I found where I must have just smoothed over some of the wrinkle. So changing the directionality of some of these. Kind of sell some of this compression a little bit better. Years too. This project suffers a lot from the pick it up, put it down syndrome. Vampire Burns has been my I've got like half an hour or an hour to sculpt.
Just pick 'em up, play with it a bit.
Well, I keep wanting to do more stuff on him, but I don't. He's not the like priority project.
Yeah.
So I keep like looking around the thing and noticing stuff that needs doing.
So, are you gonna keep working on him on stream until you're done?
Um,
Give you time to think of what you're
either
gonna do
until I'm
next?
done or until I decide what I need to do more.
You're gonna need to figure out what you're gonna sculpt at something strange too.
I do need to figure out what I'm going to sculpt at something strange. I could go back to sculpting in my Chavant clay. I don't like that. Direction is wrong.
Is your plan to finish him for this year's Frightmare?
His
16?
my plan is hopefully to finish him before this year's Frightmare.
Well, I think she means like have him ready to roll it. I'm assuming that's what she meant.
So the only thing that I have officially planned for Frightmare at this point is I want to make sure that Art the Clown is done and in production and you know, like I have Art the Clowns for Frightmare. That is the official goal at this point. Now that shouldn't be a problem, but beyond that, I don't have like I don't have a Frightmare specific project. I would like to have Vampire Burns for Frightmare, but what was that noise? I heard a click. Do you want to go look at the kiln, make sure that wasn't related?
Sound like it came upstairs.
Sounded like it came from the stairs. Maybe it's a cat then.
Oop. Yep. It was a potato.
It's a potato. It's a potato. Doing potato stuff. But yeah, I think we have a few shows upcoming.
Just a couple.
I think Vampire Burns would be fun to have for some of the Fear Mall.
Yep.
Content. Great Canadian Halloween.
Yep.
Probably be appreciated to have that done.
I think maybe
Great Canadian?
Yeah.
If you think so.
because it's a good show.
Mm-hmm.
6-foot table is just unreasonable.
It's not unreasonable.
It's unreasonable. Especially for like a Halloween show.
You just need to decide what to bring.
No, don't want to.
You don't want to, I know. I don't know. You have like a severe allergy to making like
okay, my problem
decisions about
yeah.
bringing stuff.
We can. I'm just not entirely sure how that would look with our stuff. Because we bought some shelves. Like they're 6-foot bookshelves, the ones that we had behind the table. I just don't know how that would function as our only table. Because if basically your selling space needs to fit within like the bounds of a 6-foot table.
Yeah.
If it's not actually a 6-foot
and they
table.
always have tables there.
Yeah, so
you would have
I mean,
to,
we
like-
could probably ask for no table.
You might be able to.
If we were against a wall, I would be more willing to do it. But if we're in the middle of a floor, having like big ass bookshelves is kind of weird.
Yeah. Also, we need a place to place our own physical selves.
Yeah, there's no place for us to like I don't know where we'd sit in relation to a bookshelf. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's just I haven't figured out the logistics yet, and I might not.
No, I think that show it's not like they give you a lot of depth either. Like it's not like
No,
lots of depth and very little frontage. It's just tight in there.
it's not as bad as some other shows.
No,
It's not buckets of space.
it's not as bad as some other shows we've done and decided specifically not to do again
Because it was horrible. Horrible experience.
Also, I don't know if I feel like being that different because everybody, for the most part, is rocking the table at
Yes.
I'm trying like there's a
Great Canadian.
yeah. Well, I'm trying to think of like exceptions and I think not Lee Howard, the other guy. One of the vendors we know that does paintings. I believe he's at Great Canadian. Has been at Great Canadian and did a more vertical display kind of thing, but
Well, you see a lot of like artists who have the big, like all of their prints are like
At Great Canadian though.
not so much like Great Canadian, but definitely not like Comic Con.
Yeah, like Comic-Con is a thing. Yeah.
But we can't do that. We don't have print.
If we had the if like there are definitely ways to do more of a building up kind of thing in ceramics. Um I actually think one of the key problems is not so much the breakability, it's that we don't have like choose your thing off the menu and we'll grab it out of the stack we have behind the table.
Yeah. Because all of them are each one's unique.
Because they're all unique things. And you do see that with people selling prints. Like they can be up super high and inaccessible because they're the same as the
they have a tote with all of the ones available.
yeah, like they're the exact same as the product you'd be buying, but they aren't the actual product you're buying. And that's not really the way with even for ceramicists that do make more of a
standardized.
like a standardized product that they make
well, it's like
multiples of.
Like I might walk in with like 4 Togros, but
Yeah,
they're still all different.
They're still all different. But even people that I knew that really did do like production style pottery, I don't think I knew anybody that displayed stuff and then gave people like, here's the number one. Like people at shows, at least with ceramicists, kind of came with the expectation that they pick up that little object with their hands and that's the little object that they're leaving with.
Yep.
And that's not an unfair expectation for people.
Yep.
There are obviously some middle groundy type things. Like I knew a ceramicist that had a mug tree. They actually had like 3 mug trees in their booth.
Yeah, a mug tree could work for mine because I have handles.
Well,
do not.
Okay, but that wouldn't mean that I couldn't build tall or more narrow shelves that would function like mug cubbies. But yeah, there's a lot of trade-off between portability and ease of putting up and or carry weight. There's a lot of I'm sure you're familiar with the concept of like you can have it good, fast, or cheap. You may pick 2. When it comes to display stuff, you can have it like stable, light, or inexpensive. And I think you can pick like kind of 1.5 maybe. Because you really do derive an awful lot of the stability in display from just the physical size and weight of that build. There was I used to do a show And there was a vendor that made hammocks. I think they made hammocks. I'm gonna be I could be wrong. If they made them. That could have been an early example of like the sneaky Timu drop shipper type thing.
Who are we talking about?
There was a person that made hammocks or sold, they vended hammocks at one of the art shows, the one in Rochester. And they had a booth that they built. And it was a full-on pavilion building.
So could you actually sit in
You could sit in a hammock. You could sit in any hammock you wanted to. Because they, yeah. But they had this thing. It was made of, the four corners were 12-inch square post. Wood posts.
Okay.
They had to have a crew of 6 to put this thing up. And they dragged the display in on a monstrous, like, it was a diesel truck, one of the dual axle rear, because the building, it was basically erecting a heavily built shed.
A gazebo.
Yeah, it was basically erecting a full-on but much heavier built gazebo.
Yeah.
I mean,
but if they do like all the shows,
that's
basically what they're.
That's the thing. Like, I don't know how they would have justified having a crew that large to put this huge, expensive display up. And they were hand making and selling these like woven hammock things. Like we do see some pretty impressive displays at cons and stuff, and it seems like the people that have the biggest and the nicest displays, they didn't, yeah, they didn't really charge anything super ridiculous because they sold bunches of them. They were like obviously a little bit more than you would spend if you got one like purely, like if you ordered it on Amazon, you probably could get a better deal, but they were at least purporting to hand make these things. But I don't know, man, that I don't feel like a business model to me. Unless there was some kind of a hammock machine that they had invested in, you know. Does Vampire Burns deserve shoulders?
He deserves shoulders.
He deserves shoulders.
Okay. Treat yourself.
Treat yourself to some shoulders. Does that make sense, like, from a design standpoint on this guy? He feels or top heavy.
Oh, okay.
With all the hairness.
Yeah. How is he for tippiness?
Oh, not bad. And the shoulders wouldn't change that any.
No.
No, because they're going to be up here. Actually, they're going to be way up here because Mr. Burns famously has a mighty hump.
He does. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Treat yourself to some shoulders. not just his shawl. Yeah, we will pay homage to Burns's mighty hump. Get the character right. I do kind of enjoy that shape. Let's see, show it off like that. Going on. It's fine. We'll make it work. Visually, it has something like the Rolls Royce flying angel kind of happening.
Okay. Now I kind of want to see it. It was all thrown back with the like do a full body sculpt.
No. No. No, I don't want to.
Okay. Grab.
I don't have that.
Doing so. Templates. What you want? Schwartz.
I mean, if I was going to do Mr. Burns as a hood ornament, it would be the hood ornament for the Smithers Mobile. So the full on like Art Nouveau completely nude Mr. Burns. Not in a martini glass, maybe, but I was more thinking that like Rolls Royce angel kind of thing, but just all like a Alphonse Mucha kind of. Oh, am I gonna hate myself for that? Shit, yes.
What'd you do?
I mean, I made a bad shape.
You made a bad shape.
I made a bad shape.
Okay.
I made a bad shape for molding. It's okay. It's one of those things we
Covered in beans.
we do it, and then we find the way to mold it. Spend too much time thinking about ways that you're making your life difficult for mold making, and you just don't make as cool shapes. How much space do we have? We've got a little height too. We can't even see that. We can extend Mr. Burns's plinth slightly. His plinth. Get him, get him up. I could. I could sculpt the chest burster from Spaceballs.
Now would he have a little hat?
Obviously, he would have a little. I actually did not care for the chest burster from Spaceballs. Like, I liked the scene. I thought it was very funny, but the actual like character model, I did not care for. He's fine. Yes, he would definitely come in the special. No, it was fine. It was not. There was something awkward about the something awkward about the face and the jaw that I didn't like. I'm not sure if it was just a case of we didn't consider the movement that was going to be necessary when we sculpted this thing. And therefore it has a bit of like rubber.
Have like a pointy needle tool that doesn't have a burr in it.
Does all the needle tools have burr on them? Are you okay?
I'm tracing.
You're not looking for a pointy needle tool, you're looking for
Actually,
a fine.
Like a, but it's this will do.
Yeah. Not a point. You're looking for a very fine ball stylus type thing.
Yes.
Because I have lots of points. And I have lots of stylises. I mean, the little leggies were definitely a thing. It was an effective bit, but it was not my favorite sculpt. At least for the most part. I like to I do for the majority of my sculptures. I do I make my choices for what I'm going to sculpt and how I'm going to sculpt it from a place of genuine affection for the character or the piece of artwork. If I'm going to reference something, the only immediate option that I can think of, or the only immediate exception that I can think of is, I mean, it was very funny, but Carmella Creeper.
You're going to do it.
I am
love for that.
I am going to do it. I don't even hate I like the concept just fine. I just feel like the marketing team did that character dirty. But it's connected to a larger project that I did like. Um, no, the art is very generic, and I don't think the character was appropriately like the characterization just wasn't really thought out in the way that like certainly the first three you could make the argument that like Yummy Mummy and Fruit Brute were kind of like yeah, the Brandphibian was good. That was a fun design and reasonably well executed. Like it was definitely a serial monster type thing. Yeah, I don't know. The Carmela Creeper one, they they had a brief, obviously, to work to, and that brief was what will the generation like what will our demographic children by the way she a DJ. I saw a thing when I was researching, and I don't know if this has anything to do with anything, but someone referred to her as having um, like the full autism kit with the headphones and that.
Mhm.
I have no idea if that was part of their like design. I I sort of doubt it, honestly. That doesn't feel like a nod that the General Mills marketing team is going to be making. But I have no insight or knowledge into the actual like design process. Maybe they had plenty of time to do the thing and they didn't just say we want a girl monster. Yeah, but make it she's got to be cool. Like give me a nice schmear surfer. Get the Poochie the clown or Poochie the dog Poochie the dog kind of treatment. Like I don't know. I don't know that that's how that went down. That's how I suspect that went down. But I don't know that. No, they you know I'm talking about the Simpsons, right?
Poochie the clown from The Simpsons.
Poochie the dog.
I I know.
Yeah. Payne was saying used to watch the shit out of that cartoon.
Which cartoon?
Poochie the dog, which I was unaware of.
Wait, what? It was a real cartoon.
Maybe.
Okay, explain.
Yes, and The Simpsons, Poochie the dog was set out as an example of corporate
Fellow children.
corporate BS and groupthink. Poochie the dog, the explorer.
What?
I do think that's vaguely familiar. Payne says she sent a link before.
Okay. Take a look in a second.
I do not fully remember that one, but I do think I remember a bit. But The Simpsons Poochie. Oh, the poodle looking one with the big. Yes. No, the Poochie the dog to which I reference was the character on Itchy and Scratchy that was added to in an attempt to boost slumping ratings. It was voiced by Homer. And and universally disliked by fans. So they killed the character off. That's the origin for that quote about I have to go now. My planet needs me. Yes. Well, we had just enough time to add Burns's shoulders and hump. Might have to change. It's fine. I mean, that seems entirely possible. This was not a cartoon that I ever saw as a when I don't know where you would have watched that cartoon when I was a dwarf. Okay, so we need to. Well, we made some progress. I am more pleased with the overall aspect of Mr. Burns. We'll have at least one more Mr. Burns stream, I think, on Tuesday, and then we will think of something better to do or something worse. Hard to tell. Anyway, thank you for dropping by. I hope you enjoyed the stream. And we will see you next Tuesday.
Night.
Night.
I'm in the right program to turn.